Hey, it's Debbie, and I wanted to talk to you today about hijacking and the concept of you going out into the world every day and being hijacked. So, what does that really mean? Being hijacked says that when you go out and you deal with someone else, you have a conflict or a conversation, that you then go away and you stew on it, or you stress on it, or you think about it, so that it actually takes up what I call your mental real estate in your mind. And that's a really dangerous game to play, because if lots of things are stealing your real estate and consciousness, then you're not really on your own focus and on your own flow and in your own pace. So what do I do about this? There's a couple of things that you can really start to think about. Firstly, I want you to separate the idea that you have a higher mind and a lower mind. So your higher mind is like your higher self, your spiritual self, this part of you that's wise and knowing, and that I call it the master observer, this higher self. And then you have the lower mind, which is like the day-to-day ego, the thinking mind, the one that gets caught up in fear, or the one that gets hijacked. For example, you have a discussion with someone and days later you're still thinking about it or playing it out in your head, or judging yourself for what you did or didn't say, or what you texted to someone or didn't text to someone. And this happens all of the time. It doesn't matter whether you're 19 years old or whether you're 50. I've heard this from a range of people. So what to do about this? The first thing to think about is what are the 4 steps that I can enact upon to start to get back some of my mental real estate and to actually claim back my focus and my power and my energy. It comes down to a really simple concept called awareness. So the first one is, step number 1 is when you're having a conflict or an altercation with someone or something, the first thing to say is, I 100% accept them as they are. Because the stress that you're feeling is not the person doing something to irritate you or the event that happened. The stress is your gap between where they are and where you want them to be. That's actually the stress. That's actually the problem. It's your expectation of they're here, you want them to be here, or you had this conversation, you wanted it to go this way, and there's this like really annoying gap, and that's what you're stressing about. So the first concept of I 100% accept you as you are basically says it doesn't need to be any different. I accept that there's a gap, but I don't need to fill it. Step 2 says something along the lines of, I don't give you permission to hijack my brain or to hijack my limbic brain, my emotions. Meaning you actually, revoke that agreement that that person or event has hijacked you with the stress and the gap. So that's the second thing you say. So it's taking back power. The third thing that you can do is you can ask that person to change, or ask for a reconciliation, or you can ask for your needs to be met. That is totally normal and totally cool, and set your boundaries and ask. However, if that person or event doesn't resolve the way that you want, you're back to step 1, which is, if you remember, I accept you 100% as you are. So what you're really saying is, no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay with that situation playing out. And I have 2 decisions to make. Do I stay in this annoying conversation or argument or relationship, or do I walk away? Or do I sit there knowing that the gap isn't mine to close? Therefore, I'm at peace with whatever is happening around me, and I'm not trying to control the situation. So that is just one tool of many that we need to learn as human beings living in this crazy world where lots of people start to impact us in all areas of life. So I really encourage you to start to access your master observer, that awareness of you haven't got to close the gap, that you're in control and command of your thoughts, that you have to accept things as they are and move back and stop filling up the gap. And if you're still wanting to learn more and more about how you can find your mental peace, your flow, and your consciousness to be in a better state, I suggest you start looking into developing your own skills of the higher mind. We do have short courses that we run to help you to do that, but the more that you understand your higher mind and the more that you live in it, the better your life gets. Thanks for listening.